Hi, Joseph here with another video, and today I'm going to talk to you about a couple more albums that can easily be found in the bargain bins. I know most of the videos you watch are going to be about some of the new releases, the re-releases that are pricey and upper end audio, but I like to dig the bins and find some classic stuff that I used to listen to back in the day, or sometimes it's music that's new to me. But in this case, it's two of my favorite vocalists, female vocalists to be precise. And the first up is Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie Raitt, some of you might know Bonnie Raitt from her Capitol releases that were real popular, I believe, in the 80s, Nick of Time. She actually won some Grammys. But the Bonnie Raitt that I love is the early Bonnie Raitt, where she's more blues based, and a folk artist. And this is her debut album, simply called Bonnie Raitt. And there's Bonnie on the front. She's pretty young. I guess she's in her early 20s at this time. And she's it's a very low key recording. I believe it was recorded in a barn on a very basic type tape recorder, and she's surrounded by some great musicians, among them Freebo, the bass player, the fretless bass player. Also Junior Wells is on a cut on harmonica, and also AC Reed. He was a tenor sax blues man that was excellent back in the day. But I love Bonnie Raitt. She's somewhat an eclectic artist too. She plays a lot of blues here, some folk. The blues here is what really shine though. Mighty Tight Woman, Walkin' Blues. She does a really nice version of the oldies, Since I Fell for You. And just Bonnie's voice is just so pure and so soulful. I've always just loved this album. This is probably my favorite. And it's on that famous, old green Warner Brothers label. And once again, this album can be found in the bargain bins, and and check it out. I also love Bonnie's second album. This one's called Give It Up. There's also the Young Bonnie. And this one is a gatefold album. There's more of Bonnie. And let's see. It is a gatefold. Oh yeah, and there's the musicians there in the gatefold. And this is somewhat of the same lineup. Some of the same musicians appear on this one, but a little bit different. It's got Freebo again on the bass. It's got Paul Butterfield on some harmonica. And once again, this is an outstanding mix of tunes. She does I Know, the oldie song I Know. The highlight for me though is Under the Falling Sky, the Jackson Browne tune, and also Love Has No Pride. It's a really gut-wrenching, soulful version of that folk tune, Love Has No Pride. So this is a beautiful album, Bonnie Raitt. So soulful. Now the other artist I want to talk about is Maria Muldaur. She's also made her splash mostly in the 70s, and this is Maria's debut album. She came out of Greenwich Village and worked with her first husband, Jeff Muldaur, who he was in a jug band, and so she was playing really into folk, early blues, some jazz, and that's what Maria does in this album. She mixes it up really well. She is surrounded by excellent musicians, Dr. John, Richard Green, Jim Keltner, Ry Cooder, Clarence White, David Grisman, and the lead guitar on here is Amos Garrett. Many of you don't know the name Amos Garrett, but he's a wonderful guitar player. This album also includes the hit Midnight at the Oasis. That was the big hit for Maria. That's probably her only #1 hit. Some people either love it or hate it. I've always loved it. Just love the sound of Maria Muldaur. And Maria was quite the looker in the day, as you can see on her second album. And as when most guys in their teens had either Linda Ronstadt or Stevie Nicks on their walls, I had a photo of Maria on my wall. So I always thought she was very nice looking. But more than that, she was a wonderful singer. And this is her second album. This one is called Waitress in the Donut Shop. And this one is a little bit more jazzy than the first album. She's actually surrounded by jazz musicians and like Benny Carter, Harry Sweets Edison. But it's a wonderful mix. She does some like blues gospel, If You Haven't Any Hay, the old Skip James song. Traveling Shoes, a gospel song. A song by the great unknown, somewhat, folk artist Wendy Waldman, Gringo in Mexico. She does I'm a Woman, the famous Peggy Lee song. Just a wonderful album. And I really love how she does the jazz tune. She's really an excellent jazz singer, but she can do it all. She can do jazz, gospel, folk, rock out. And even now, I think she's 80 years old and still singing. So that's a look at two of my favorite artists, female artists from the 70s. It's Maria Muldaur and Bonnie Raitt. So that's it for today. Like, subscribe, Joseph out.